Cuba! It's me, episode 60 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show, which stands for Wrestling is Life. Life is Wrestling. So that is 2 months in a row. I'm so happy I keep doing it today. I wanted to give back to some people that have really made a big impact in my life. People that I really cherish. This is a list of the 10 best fans I know. There's a lot more than 10. I'm sorry if you aren't on the list, so I just made a quick list. If you made the list, I really appreciate you as a fan and all the time you've spent, taking pictures with me, either asking for an autograph, supporting me, trying to cheer me up when I've been injured, and coming to the shows, paying your hard-earned money. Whatever it is, there's a lot of fans, but these are the ones that really stood out to me. So let's get it started. The first one is, this is like a combination one. Tor Hart and Sherry Bon Lariviere. Did I say that right? Now, they come to all the shows, lots of them in Ontario, not just the ones I'm on. Like, Tor especially has such a passion for wrestling. Sherry is one of the nicest people I've ever met. And, they go above and beyond as fans. They bought some shirts for me and I sent them in the mail. When they found out I broke my ankle, they, actually mailed me a card from Florida. That really made me happy. When you're sitting at home and you can't get out, and you don't have any social life, and you're just sitting there feeling sorry for yourself, a letter like that can really brighten your day. And Tor always goes on, both of them actually, always go on social media and say nice things. And, people don't realize, maybe some of the wrestlers, in the WWE, or some of the really, really popular, famous indie wrestlers, but sometimes you could just say one little nice comment about, oh, I like your match, or I like the way you wrestle, or something like that. Maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but for me, it totally brightens my day, because in my other life, outside of wrestling, I know, is there anything other than wrestling? Well, apparently there is. No one knows that I'm a wrestler, or if they do know, they don't really care. So, when I'm just at home and I'm playing with the cameraman, I'm just an everyday, average person. But when people compliment on my wrestling, which is what, my brain is constantly thinking about, it really means a lot. So let's get into the next one. This is also a duo. Lefty, I call him Lefty. Nick Gravet, I can't say it. Nick Lefty and Caleb, his son, Pasher. Caleb is friends with the cameraman. I consider Lefty a friend. They come to all the shows. They really support, they actually, go out of their way trying to help sell tickets and, putting word out on social media. And they're, they just make me feel so good. They have taped clips of my matches and stuff, and Caleb has actually been on the show, and we're really lucky to have them as fans, and I have nothing but respect for the two of them. The next one is the radio guy, James Jordan. You know it. That's right. You get a shout out. I'm sure this is gonna make your night. You're gonna go home and hear this video, and you're gonna perk right up. I know you are. You better anyway. This guy goes out of his way to put PWA on the map, and he interviews wrestlers on the show. He's constantly promoting. He's constantly doing stuff to try and make people more aware of the product and get the word out about it. And I really appreciate him as a fan. I'm glad he came along. It's too bad we didn't have him back in the day. So James, if that is your real name, anyway, you know what it is. Check out his show on the radio. I can't remember. It just switched. It's 102.7 or 100.3 CKWS or CKNS. He'll give it to you, folks. You'll find it. The Underground Sound Project. He reviews the PWA shows. I went on a show. I had a great time. The next one is Emily M. Palehurst. I mean, I love all the Hursts, but she really stands out to me. She's always, when I first started wrestling in the Alpine Club, I wasn't sure how people would react to me, but she brought me a Cuba sign. I never got a Cuba sign before. I owe her big time, and I know I do feel bad that I haven't been able to go to the roller girl games and all that stuff, but I always have a special place in my heart for her. Gotta love M. Paler, and just the fact that she comes there and she gave the one time we made eye contact, we just gave each other a big hug, because I feel the mutual respect is there, and she always makes me feel like I'm giving her more than her money's worth. The next one I want to talk about is the Bandera family. That's right, I'm putting them all together. Gordon Bandera, Rosemary Bandera, and their lovely mother. These gotta be the nicest, most respectful fans I've ever met. like they even go to the airport, which is like a lot of people cannot do, and get pictures with the WWE wrestlers. Most people, they're not happy about doing it for them. This family is so polite, so respectful that all the people do it for them because they treat the talent the way they should be treated. They don't approach them and bother them. They just, if they get a chance, they'll take their opportunity. And I've had some great talks with all of them, and I feel like me and Gordon kind of like soul brothers, and like a lot of the stuff in our lives is the same, and they're the nicest people you could ever meet, and they've been traveling so far to go to all these shows and support and spent so much money just to come to indie wrestling shows and always take pictures and try and put over the talent. And now I hear Rose is training now, and I really hope she sticks with it. She has such a passion for wrestling. There's going to be ups and downs. Just stick with it, Rose. Don't quit, because it will play out for you. You are a very unique person, and you have the love for it. You're not like these other people that come in from a gymnastics background or from like some kind of amateur wrestling background, or you're an ex-football player. You're in it because you love wrestling, so you deserve to be in wrestling. The next people I want to talk about is a couple, Patrina and Daryl Nar. They are religiously come to, the only show they've never came to is when they got married. Put it that way. They come to every show. They take pictures with everyone. They cheer. They buy shirts. They're such a classy couple. And like I feel bad. I was telling Daryl the last time, like he must not have any things left on his fingerprints on his thumb because he's taken so many pictures for Patrina. And she's a lovely girl. And she told me that she might be starting training too, and I'm like, we need a girl like her. We need someone that's someone different than all these other ones. And if she follows through with it, she will be getting booked everywhere. So please do. If you really feel like you want to do that, Patrina, I beg you. It'd be so great to see you out there. The next people I want to talk about is just one person. She is, to me, the mother of PWA. That's right, Tracy Jägermeister Eckhart. T-Y-E, Ty. So anyway, she will do anything for the wrestlers. She sells tickets, she'll give them rides, she will give them spray tans, she'll offer to help any way possible. I remember the one time when I got hurt, and I didn't even know her, but I was friends with Sid Summers, and she contacted me, and she's like, oh, I found out it's just you and the cameraman. She's like, I'll do anything. Do you want me to cook you some meal, or drive you around somewhere, or pick up some groceries for you, or do some errands for you? And I'm like, no, you don't have to do that. I was just shocked that someone cared that much. And it wasn't just a farce she was putting on. She continues to be that person to this day. I was trying to do this work from home thing, and she was trying to hook me up and all this stuff. And it's not just me. She does this for everybody. She's constantly on social media. People don't understand when someone likes your post on Facebook. It goes back up to the most recent thing. So just clicking a like on somebody's thing puts it back up so it gets more eyes on it. And she always supports. She always does. And I thought maybe should I hit on her? She's a lovely girl. But I know Joey Allen deep in his heart loves her so much that I wouldn't want to get in between that. That's a romance that is definitely brewing. But I do have love for you, Tracy. Thank you for everything you've done. My next biggest fans are, that's right, my mom and my sister. Now, they are not the typical wrestling fans. They don't really like wrestling. My sister, I forced her and begged her and said I would do her chores and just wouldn't stop bugging her until she would wrestle me as a kid. My mom never liked wrestling, but she took me to all the shows, bought me all the magazines, rented me all the movies, helped pay for my tuition to wrestling school, and then after I did start wrestling, they weren't even wrestling folks, but they would come to all my shows and cheer me on, and just, because a lot of my family that I grew up with, they either don't like wrestling, or don't think I should be in wrestling for whatever reasons, or they just don't speak of it. It's not even spoken about. But not my mom and my sister. They always made me feel special because they know I loved it, and they just made sure to make me carry on with it. If you love it, then we will support you, and it always meant a lot that I always had their support. The next fans are, what a lovely couple, Gordo and Tammy. Now, I know Gordo went on to not be so much of a fan and he got really heavily involved, but when I first met them, they were fans. And Tammy would take all the pictures and Gordo would write up all the reviews, and they were so respectful, and like if I asked their opinion, they'd tell me honestly, and they've done so much for wrestling. Like I did a tribute for Gordo a couple days back for his birthday, and Tammy, everything I said about Gordo goes for you too. And like during those dark times or when we weren't getting as many fans, having people like them around made you feel it was worth it. Like you woke up the next day and you could barely walk and you've been in a car, feel like you've been in a car crash, and they would always encourage and say nice things and make it feel like you weren't doing it for nothing. And that leads me into my next group of fans. I'm just gonna say the whole group. I don't want to list them all individually. The Chant Monkeys. Now, some of you may not know who the Chant Monkeys. Well, back when we used to wrestle in Brantford, they would go to other shows too, like Cambridge and a whole bunch of them, not just even PWA. And they helped put a lot of people on the map. But when I first met them, it was at Jay's place in Brantford, and sometimes there was not that many fans there. But it didn't matter because the Chant Monkeys were there. Just wrestling for them was better than wrestling for like 300 people sometimes. They loved the wrestling. They were passionate about it. They made the crowd. They like got into the show. They were the show. Like really, the Chant Monkeys, all of you. I have nothing but love for all of you. You guys know who you are. There's so many. Should I name them individually? What if I mess up someone's name? The Chant Monkeys. Look it up. There's so many of them. There's got to be 5 or 6, I would say. And you guys know who you are. Much respect. There's a couple guys like Beasley and D. Carvello, and I don't know if Tony's doing as much involved, that are still involved in wrestling to this day, like running promotions and websites about wrestling. The time that they put in is crazy. Now, that's my list of 10. There's so many other ones I could have put, and I'm sorry if I didn't put you. Like, I truly am. Like, Emmanuel, I wouldn't really call him a fan. I consider him one of the boys, but he did so much. Luke, I would put you on there too. And I would consider Braden Austin if he didn't always troll me. Like, there's so many. Matt D'Angelo, I haven't met him, but I just follow him on social media, and I just love his passion. So many people. I just want to give back. Without you guys, I'm a nothing. And to some people, I am still a nothing. But the fact that I don't feel like a nothing is because of people like you. There's so many. Thank you to the fans. This is episode 60 of The Willow Show. Remember, like, or you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. Subscribe, or you get a suplex. I'm your host, Elian Habanero. I love wrestling. Cuba!